Now, let's get an expert's take on Bong Joon-ho's stunning Palmed'Or win at this year's Cannes Film Festival. Joining us on Skype is Jason Bechervaise, professor at Soongsil Cyber University. He also wrote his Ph.D. on Bong's work. Jason, thanks for joining us. I do want to start with your reaction to Parasite's win. We've been hearing it's a fantastic film. Of course, it got that 8-minute-long standing ovation from the notoriously difficult-to-please crowd in Cannes. As a huge fan of Bong's work yourself, you must be delighted, but were you surprised?
Yes and no. It was pretty clear that he was going to win something. Both him and Song Kang-ho were at the ceremony, which suggested that they were going to win an award. But I assumed it may be Best Director or the Grand Prix prize. But it slowly, as the award ceremony went on, it was becoming apparent that he was going to get one of the big prizes. And when it was announced that he got the Palmed'Or, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, the film, by all accounts, is incredible. It's been extremely well received. But there's just an element of doubt that he would actually win the Palmed'Or. And with the Cannes jury, it's always so unpredictable. And given that they said that the verdict was unanimous, I think it just goes to show how well this film has been received and how popular Bong Joon-ho is.
Yeah, it was a big surprise, and for them to say it was a unanimous vote as well just adds to how well the film must have been received, like you say. But since Parasite is the first South Korean film to win this top prize at Cannes, can we expect the critical acclaim in France to translate into big box office sales in South Korea when it comes out in just a few days' time?
Yes, already the ticket reservations are approaching 100,000, so it's topping the reservations charts. The thing is, this kind of win generates huge amounts of coverage. I've had lots of phone calls about this win, and I've been talking to people. They all know about the Palmed'Or victory in Cannes. It gets the top headlines in the news, and so people are talking about it before the film is released. And I think there's an element of pride, and rightly so. This is the first time a Korean filmmaker has won the top award at Cannes. It's not just generating much local news coverage, it's generating a lot of global news coverage, as your report stated. And this therefore this means that there's much more awareness of the film, and Bong Joon-ho is a bankable director anyway. I think this film was going to do well regardless of whether it won an award or not, but the fact that it has won an award does mean that I think we can expect it to do extremely well at the box office.
Well, we certainly hope so, Jason. And finally, do you see Bong's victory being a catalyst now for South Korean films to make a major comeback on the international scene?
Yeah, I mean, already there's a lot. I've been reading stories about the state of the Korean film industry, and of course this year is the 100-year anniversary of Korean cinema, so it's a very timely award. And so with lots of news coverage about the Korean film industry, it's encouraging to see. It is a healthy industry, of course. The only issue I would say is that Korean cinema on the global stage is very much reliant on these auteurs. So it's no coincidence that Bong Joon-ho won this award. He's one of the most celebrated filmmakers in Korea. Lee Chang-dong came back empty-handed last year, but with his film Burning premiered in Cannes. But it became the best reviewed film of the festival in its whole entire history since they started these jury grids. And so it's very much, Korean cinema is very much reliant on these kind of auteurs, Lee Chang-dong, Bong Joon-ho, Park Chang-wook, and the factors that led to the rise in the industry were somewhat unique. There's greater autonomy in the film industry back in the late 90s and early 2000s. But that being said, the industry is healthy. There were 2 Korean films screening in Cannes, and there'll be lots of discussion about Korean cinema, but yes, it is somewhat reliant on these auteurs on the world stage.
Okay, Jason, we are running out of time, unfortunately. Quick yes, no, or I hope so. Is Parasite going to win an Oscar next year?
I think it's very likely. Well, I think it's very likely it will get nominated. We'll see whether it wins an Oscar, but the chances are high.
Okay, wonderful. That's the answer we wanted to hear. Well, we'll just have to wait until Thursday then for this release in South Korea to see Parasite ourselves. Probably you're going to get to see it before the general public, but I personally can't wait to check it out. Thank you very much for your insights, Jason. That was Jason Bechervaise, Professor at Soongsil Cyber University. Thank you.